Ram Navami. Okay, some of you, not everyone. I'm very surprised. Acha, everybody is there. Okay. So Ram Navami is the day when Lord Ram appeared. Krishna has different types of incarnations. One of them is Leela Avatar, pastimes incarnation. So Lord Ram is one of those pastime incarnations of Lord Krishna. So you have many such Leela Avataras like Narasimha Bhagavan, Matsya, Vamandev, Varaha. They're all Leela Avataras, pastime. They come to perform certain pastime in the material world. So Lord Ram is, we'll just spend 5 minutes, we'll remember him and get his mercy. Lord Ram is Maryada Purushottam Bhagavan. Maryada, you understand Maryada? Maryada का अर्थ क्या होता है? What is Maryada?
Boundaries.
Boundary. Yes. सीमा के अंदर. So Lord Ram will do what an ideal husband will do, ideal father will do, ideal brother will do, ideal son will do. Basically to teach in general how a human should behave, man should behave. Maryada Purushottam. And Krishna is called Leela Purushottam. He is famous for his pastimes. So he can even violate norms because he's the Supreme Lord. You know? So such material word norms do not apply to Krishna. Like I gave an example earlier also. If you're standing on the red light and you stopped your car because there's a red light and there's an aeroplane crosses the red light, you can't say, why is the aeroplane crossing the red light? You know? Aeroplane should also follow red light, red signal. No, the signal is not meant for him, meant for aeroplane. So such norms are not meant for aeroplanes who fly in the air, meant for, people like you and me who drive on the road. So material norms do not apply to Supreme Lord. He's beyond these norms. So he is Leela Purushottam. So he can steal while stealing is bad in general. Correct? He can run away from the battlefield while running away is also bad in general. He can dance with the wives of others, gopis, while this is obnoxious in material world. Right? So he's beyond these norms. He's called Leela Purushottam. Lord Ram is called Maryada Purushottam. Okay. So I'll just share one pastime of Hanuman, the dear devotee of Lord Ram, and then we'll move to our Bhagavad Gita, today's verse. So after Lord Ram killed Ravan and came back to Ayodhya, he was seated on the throne and a lot of people were coming to welcome him, present him various variety of gifts. So one jeweler presented Lord Ram with some kind of necklace. And Lord Ram handed over that necklace to Hanuman. Have you heard about this pastime? Anyone? No. So Hanuman, being very innocent, he started biting those jewels, those gems, started breaking them. And then that jeweler was watching all of this. He went to Hanuman, "What are you doing?" "I made this necklace with so much of love and affection for Lord Ram, and you are breaking every gem of this necklace. What are you trying?" Hanuman said, "I'm trying to see if Ram is present within these gems or not. He's breaking and seeing presence of Lord Ram inside the gems. But I don't see Lord Ram inside the gems." So what do you use of this necklace? Threw it away. And then that jeweler challenged Hanuman. "Are you sure you have Lord Ram in your body? Have you ever seen presence of Lord Ram in your body? If no, then body is also useless. Break it, throw it." Then Hanuman, tore apart his heart and made that jeweler see presence of Lord Ram, Lakshman, Sita in his heart. Have you seen this picture? He's tearing apart his heart and showing presence of Lord Ram, Lakshman, Sita. So this is the genesis. This is the pastime behind this picture. This picture is very famous, but people don't know what is the pastime behind this. This is a pastime. Another, why Janak Maharaj in the Swayamvar, he put a condition that somebody who can lift this bow of Lord Shiva, he only can marry Sita. Are you aware of this? I'm sure everybody, आपने रामायण तो देखा होगा. Janak Maharaj का शर्त रखी थी, anyone who can lift this bow of Lord Shiva, which can be lifted by 400, 500 people with two hands, can be only lifted. If somebody is able to lift this, then only he can marry Mother Sita. Why he put this condition? Anyone? Anyone? Any idea? Why Janak Maharaj put this condition of lifting, bow of Lord Shiva? Any idea? Yes, Bonshi Mataji.
Prabhuji, maybe because somebody who could be more powerful than Shiva would be eligible to marry Sita.
It's a good guess. Anyone else? Sorry. Anyone else?
Sita Mataji is related to Parvati Mata.
The wild guess. Okay. So
Sita was,
yes,
Sita was able to lift it, and maybe someone was more powerful.
yes, that is correct. So when Sita was a very small child, a little girl, she was picking up flowers in the garden, and she saw some flowers on the top of the tree. So she was trying to search for something which she can use to pluck those flowers. She saw this Lord Shiva's Dhanush lying there. She simply lifted it and full tod ke usko वापस रख दिया. And this Janak was observing this and how powerful this girl is. She lifted like a simple stick and full tod ke usko वापस रख दिया. And then Janak said, if she can lift this so easily, then her husband has to be equally powerful, if not more, equally powerful. They should be able to lift this Dhanush bow of Lord Shiva. So that was the reason behind this condition of Swayamvar. Like there's many pastimes, Lord Ram. So we pray at the lotus feet Lord Ram to bless us on this auspicious day. So we are supposed to start which verse today? You're supposed to start fourth reason for Arjuna's refusal to fight the battle, right? .39, correct? Up till 38 we finish in the previous session. So you can recite after me. Kulakshay pranashyanti. Dipesh, you not recite. I can see your lips are moving or not. Kulakshay.
I was opening the shlok, sorry.
Acha. 1.39, 39 verse. Kulakshaya pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavati yuta. Kulakshaya pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavati yuta. One more time. Kulakshay pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo abhibhavati yuta. Word by word meaning. Kulakshay, in destroying the family. Pranashyanti, become vanquished. Kula, dharma, the family tradition. Sanatanaha, eternal. Dharme, religion. Nashte, being destroyed. Kulam, family. Krishnam, whole. Adharmaha, irreligion. Abhibhavati, transforms. Uta, it is said. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of family becomes involved in religion. Please repeat after me. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of family becomes involved in irreligion. Purport. In the system of Varnashrama institution, there are many principles of religion traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purifications may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of family be slain. So here onwards, next maybe 3-4 verses, Arjuna is presenting fourth reason why he should not fight the battle. What was the first reason? Quickly. Anyone can.
Compassion.
Compassion. You're not visible, Himanshu, today. You're invisible.
Actually, traveling and in different situations because of that.
Acha, no problem, no problem. So first reason was compassion. When he saw his family members, he felt compassionate. How can I kill them?
Hello.
Correct. Okay. What was the second reason?
Loss of enjoyment.
Loss of enjoyment. Very good. If everybody is killed, with whom I will enjoy this kingdom? Third,
Fear for sinful reaction.
sorry,
Fear of
sinful
sinful,
reaction.
sinful reaction.
Correct. So if I kill my elders, it'll invite sinful reactions. I should not get into this obnoxious activity of killing my own guru, killing my Vishnu Pitama. And the fourth reason, he's thinking too far, Arjuna. What might happen in the long term? A very far-sightedness. He's thinking that so many generations are present in this battlefield to fight, including all the elders of the family. तो घर पे कौन है? छोटे बच्चे हैं बस और स्त्रियां हैं. Who is left at home now? Only small children and women, and everybody else is there in this battlefield. Even small, like youngsters also, Abhimanyu, like that. Grandsons, great grandsons, all are present in the battlefield to fight. So he's thinking, if all the elders of the family are killed in this battlefield, what will happen? Kulakshay pranashyanti. Kula dharma sanat. पहले क्या होगा? Kulakshay pranashyati. Kul का नाश हो जाएगा. Kula will be destroyed. What is Kula basically? What is Kula? You understand Kula? सबने सुना होगा. कुल का नाश हो जाएगा. Basically, the family will be destroyed, including all the elders. And if elders are destroyed, what will happen? Who gives samskaras to small children in the family? Primarily elders. Is it? पहले बच्चों को, grandparents used to recite them stories from Ramayana, from Mahabharata to small children while sleeping, especially. And through these stories, they used to impart values to these children. Through different pastimes, through stories, they'll impart different values to small children. So children used to imbibe these values either through these stories or through Gurukula system. And neither Gurukula exists now, and with nuclear families, even the elders are not at home to, do their job, which was happening in our Vedic Sanskriti. So Arjuna is thinking, if elders are destroyed, who will recite or who will imbibe these values to small children? Who will tell them कि तुम्हारा कुल धर्म क्या है? तुम्हारे संस्कार क्या हैं? Today, even children do not touch the feet of elders. It's gone. With a simple samskar, simple etiquette. That's why, these children are not blessed children. There are no blessings for them. They don't seek blessings from anyone. They're busy with mobile or television. No blessings. Earlier we used to say count your blessings. Now we say count your money. Huge transformation. So kulakshay pranashyati kula dharma. What is kula dharma? Kula dharma is based on varnashram system. Somebody may be Brahmana, somebody may be Kshatriya, somebody may be, Vaishya, somebody. And all these different varnashramas have different kula dharma, family tradition. So if elders are not there, children will be taught about these Kula Dharma, and slowly Kula Dharma will finish. Kula Dharma is to establish Dharma, religious atmosphere in the house. What happens when some puja is performed, all the family members get together, and they wear some nice traditional clothes, and then you have incense, you have diya, you have some pictures, and sit together and chant some bhajans. Correct? This is how you enliven or keep dharma alive in the family. अभी नहीं होता है ना? What Arjuna was actually worried about is happening in Kali Yuga. So Kula Dharma will destroy, with Kula Dharma will destroy. Now Kula Dharma is not self-made Dharma. For example, we see in the nearby villages around Udaipur, they have some tradition wherein on a certain day, they do mass slaughter of animals. This is the tradition. Once in a year, they get together and they offer these, bali, whatever, sacrifice to Mother Kali. Now, this is not a prescribed tradition or a bona fide dharma. How can a mass slaughter be a religious activity? And causing pain to so many animals be a religious activity? But the traditions are set based on somebody started it for some reason, for some political reason, for some social reason, for whatever reason. Like in Bombay, we have this Ganpati festival. People keep Ganpati at home, and then they, sometimes on the road in a pandal, then they play Bollywood songs, and they dance throughout the night. They take out possession, they drink, and they dance on the road. Now, in their understanding, this is dharma. This is what dharma is. Once in a year, get together, go and collect some donation, have a pandal, bring Ganpati ji, and then dance in front of him, latest Bollywood songs, and you can drink, play some tash wash. Yeah. And on the day of Visarjan, go dance, drink, and then throw Ganesh ji in water. Now this, how it started? Maybe 100, 200 years back. Some political reason, when we had to fight, Britishers, and we had to have some mechanism to bring all people together. Just imagine how Ganesh ji will feel if somebody is dancing drunk in front of him, playing tash in front of him. Will he be happy? But this is becoming dharma, Kula Dharma, tradition. These are not bona fide tradition, but we have made them. Some families, they worship Ganesha with a lot of purity. But in general, I'm saying, you go to Bombay, I lived in Bombay quite some time. You know what happens. So we're not talking about these kind of self-made dharma. Dharma means dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Whatever Krishna or Lord has given instructions, that is dharma. We cannot write something and say this is dharma. It has to come from non-human, supreme personality of God. You and me cannot make dharma. We are supposed to follow dharma, not make dharma. But different people, different families have started some traditions. Just a, it's not a factual story, but to illustrate what happens. So एक बार शादी हो रही थी, and again and again there was, a cat was passing by. Again, a cat will come in front of दूल्हा दुल्हन while they were taking, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, फेरे लेते हैं अग्नि के चारों तरफ. तो बिल्ली आगे से निकल रही थी, तो some old lady said, बिल्ली को रोको, इसके ऊपर मटका डाल के रख दो till the time फेरा is completed, let the cat be arrested for some time. So किसी ने बड़ा सा मटका लिया, उसके ऊपर रख दिया, बिल्ली के ऊपर, and बिल्ली was inside the मटका. So when फेरे हो रहे तो सबने देखा कि बिल्ली मटके के अंदर है. But all the people didn't know what the reason is. So they thought it's a tradition. Okay, whenever you take fairas, you have to have a cat, you have to have a pot, and cat should be inside the pot. It is very auspicious. So children who grew up, who saw this happening during their times in their marriage, they started this tradition. So they bring a cat and they'll put matka on the cat. At the same time, when the fere ho rahe hain, both are moving around the avenue, very auspicious to have a cat. This became tradition. This is how traditions become. Somebody thinks, starts something, somebody observes, and tradition. So they are very, absurd traditions we follow. But Kula Dharma is based on scriptures, bona fide, authentic. Yeah. So, and why these kind of Kula Dharma continue? People don't ask reasons why. Like आगे रोटी घुमानी है हमको भगवान के सामने, हमने देखा है अपने पेरेंट घुमाते तो हम भी घुमा देते हैं, हम यही पता नहीं किसके सामने घुमा रहे हैं, क्यों घुमा रहे हैं. जो पिक्चर सामने है, we don't know who is this personality. For example, रामनवमी है, सब लोग कर रहे हैं, but they don't know who is Lord Ram. स्टोरी वाला राम पता सबको, ठीक है, like he went and conquered Ravana and rescued his wife. But in reality, who is Lord Ram? Incarnation, Lord Krishna, Leela Avatar. What are his qualities which we can learn from? So this is only sentiment. This is not religion. Religion means you know what you're doing. So आजकल लोग सोचते नहीं है, पूछते नहीं है ऐसे. They don't have the ability to ask questions. Why am I doing what I'm doing? So these traditions simply continue. So we have one devotee, Dinesh Rathod. Rathod means Rajput. So he was earlier, he used to eat non-veg and all that. So what I was talking about, in his village, this happens. Massacre of, slaughter of animals. Now he is convinced what they're doing is wrong because he has read Shastras. He has read Gita, he has read Bhagavatam. He has been chanting quite some time. Now he understands this is not authentic. So that's why reading these books like Gita Bhagavad is very important to understand what is real dharma. We can't concoct dharma based on our speculation. It has to be bona fide. Scripture prescribed dharma. So then what will happen? Dharme nashte kulam. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of family becomes involved. So when dharma is destroyed, gradually every member of family becomes religious. They start doing things which are not supposed to be done. They'll develop inclination towards intoxication, towards meat eating, vagara, vagara. Because there's no dharma discussion at home. Generally, people who are not eating, it happened with me also. Like my family never used to eat non-vegetarian and all that. Very pious family. But when I went out to study, so I got that association. And I heard it was okay, eating non-vegetarian. Yeah. Away from the family quite some time. So if one is not in touch with such religious atmosphere, he can fall prey very easily based on association you have. So all these religious activities should be performed in the house so that children pick up these, samskaras right from there. We should not ignore them right from their early age. Children are like sponge in the beginning; they'll absorb everything. In the beginning, later very difficult. This is how much struggle you see now. All of you go through. Somebody must be 30, 35, 40 years late in reading Bhagavad Gita and chanting Bhagavad Gita. And it's so much of challenge. Chanting 2 rounds is a big challenge. According to Bhagavad Gita, later you're supposed to be chanting every day. That is Krishna's instruction. That is for our benefit, and the benefit we'll share later. But we struggle to chant 2 rounds. Yes or no? That is our state current. So we should not let this happen with our children, what we are going through. So this is Arjuna's worry. What? If all elders die, Kula will be destroyed. With Kula being destroyed, Kula Dharma will be destroyed. With Kula Dharma being destroyed, family members will become irreligious. They will start performing religious activities. And the next verse is verse number 40. Adharma abhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu dushtashu vashneya jayate varna sankara. So with people getting involved in religious activities, what is the consequence further? Arjuna is explaining in the next verse. When religion is prominent in the family of Krishna, the women of family becomes polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vishnu, comes unwanted progeny, Varna Sankara. So this is the consequence if everybody becomes religious. I'll read the purport and we'll discuss. Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religion principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elders of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. I can see all the women smiling. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and thus their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population, eligible for participating in Varnashram system. On the failure of such Varnashram dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and thus adultery is indulged in at the risk of unwanted population. Irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and thus unwanted children flood the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. So this is the further consequence of what was explained in the previous verse, that people in general become religious. Now in our Vedic Sanskriti, Vedic traditions, women played a very important role for the well-being of society. Yeah. Women always was, regarded and given a very high place in the society. Now women are being exploited in the society. They're not being respected, they are being exploited. It is women who gives birth to a child. It is women who is the first guru of the child. Yes or no? So it was always felt to protect women of society. Why? They're very precious and very important. Like you protect jewels. Correct. You don't keep jewels in open in your living room. Do that? No. They're very precious, very important. Yeah. Like you have a prime minister coming, there are all the bodyguards around him. Why? He's very important. So important and precious things are supposed to be guarded or protected. Similarly, the entire development of good society is based on chastity of women. And hence, they are supposed to be protected. When they are small, they should be protected by father. When they get married, they should be protected by husband. And when they become old, should be protected by their son. But in all situations, they should remain under protection. And Prabhupada is writing, they're as innocent as like small children. They can be misled very easily. Therefore, in Vedic Sanskriti, free mixing of men and women not allowed. Gurukula means only boys. But now we have fashion of poet schools, and parents feel proud if the children go to poet schools. In US, parents don't feel comfortable if their teenager boy is not dating around. Something wrong with this boy. If he doesn't have a girlfriend, something wrong with him. If she doesn't have a boyfriend, something wrong with her. That is the kind of perception developed. And what makes women powerful is her chastity. Kandhari was a very chaste lady. Yes, chaste means fully devoted to her husband. We not look at any other men. And because her husband was blind, she also blindfolded her eyes. I also have been blind throughout my life. And she was so powerful that she could curse even Krishna. She cursed Krishna. It was Krishna's own plan. That like, because of you, like the family is destroyed, Kaurava, Pandavas are fighting each other and destroyed each other, your Yadu Vamsh will also be destroyed. This was curse given by Gandhari to Krishna. There was one, I don't remember the name of this lady, whose husband was supposed to be dying before sunset. And then Anasuya or who, I don't know, because of her chastity, sun did not set on that day. So there are many such stories wherein, women exemplified, demonstrated their power just because of chastity they had. But nowadays, very difficult to maintain. What we see in office culture, you see, I've also spent 15, 16 years in corporate culture. Yeah, those boundaries are no more existing. Sit very close, think together, eat together. And when emotions are not satisfied at home, then they try to satisfy in office, somebody around. They get some shoulder to cry at office. So this is very common. That's why in US you have 1 out of 2 marriages within 3 years they go for divorce. 50% divorce rate within first 3 years of marriage. This free mixing. You know what happens during Garbha, New Year parties? I don't need to tell you. Maximum abortion cases after this. Free mixing. You know how many abortions happen in India every year? Any guess? Dr. Huma Khan. How many abortions? 11 million abortions every year. 10 crores abortions every year. Most obnoxious activity according to scriptures. The child is slaughtered before he takes birth. Actually, his child is slaughtered and he's cut into pieces. Abortion is the process of cutting the child into pieces. remixing. Shastras tell women is like fire and man is like butter. If they come close, butter has to melt. Butter will melt. Vishwamitra melted, big yogi, just by hearing chan chan chan. So Arjuna is thinking, look at the sequence. Kula is destroyed, then Kula Dharma is destroyed, and people become irreligious, and then because of irreligion, women is polluted, right? And then because of degradation of womanhood, unwanted children. Unwanted children means what? No, children who are born, they're not wanted by children, they throw it in front of orphanage. There's a big orphanage here in Udaipur. So 200, 300 children. What is the root cause? Degradation of both man and women. No culture. Currently, there is no culture. No Sanskriti. No respect. Only exploitation. So this is what Arjuna's worry. I don't want to become instrument for this to happen in future. I will not fight. And what happens with such unwanted children is the next verse. Sankaro narkayeva kula ghanam kulasya patanti pitro hi yesha lupta pindo ndaka kriya. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. So if such children are born, Arjuna is wondering, so one who causes this to happen, he will go to hellish condition. So Arjuna is thinking about himself. Because if I become instrument for this thing to happen, where will I go? I'll go to hellish conditions. And those who destroy the family tradition, the ancestors of such corrupt families fall down. And what happens to the Pitra or the forefathers of such families? They will not get Shraddh. आजकल बच्चों को पता भी नहीं श्राद्ध क्या हो. Pindadan. They don't do. Pindadan is a very important activity to be done by every son for forefathers. Or Shraddh. Shraddha is a process of relieving forefathers by giving them Krishna Prasadam. Prasadam offered to Vishnu. When they eat, they get rid of all the sinful activities and they don't go to hellish conditions. They are liberated. So Arjuna is wondering if we have such people, such children who are not given any samskaras, unwanted, children, they'll stop doing all these samskaras, Shraddh, Pindadan. And what happened to forefathers? They'll fall down to hellish conditions. Because the performances of offering them food and water are entirely stopped. So this is how Arjuna is thinking. Why? Because if all the elders of the families die in this battlefield, this is what's going to happen. According to the rules, regulations of fruitive activity, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful reactions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam, food, are offered to forefathers by descendants, the forefathers are released from ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional services, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in Bhagavatam. So, if one becomes a devotee, when I say devotee means pure devotee, he need not do all these rituals. Bhagavatam says, if you have one pure devotee of Krishna, his 21 generations are delivered. What a contribution to your family. See, 21 generations are delivered if you have one pure devotee in the family. 21 generations. This is the real service to our forefathers, our family members, by becoming a nice devotee, pure devotee. Yeah. Devarishi bhutapta nranam pitranam na kinkaro nayam rini charajan sarvatmana yaha sharanam sharanayam gato mukundam parihatya kartam. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and has taken to the path of all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in general, anybody who is born in material world, the moment he takes birth, he becomes indebted to 5 people. पैदा होते ही हमारे ऊपर कर्ज चढ़ जाता है. They are under debt. We become debtors to our forefathers. Why? Because they have given us body in their family. So we are indebted to them. We become indebted to our sages. They have given us these shastras like Gita, Bhagavatam to deliver us from this material world. We become indebted. We become indebted to demigods. They give us water, heat, sun rays, grain to survive. We become indebted to other living entities who help us in different ways. कोई आपको दूध लाके देता है, कोई सिलेंडर लाके देता है. We are indebted to them for our survival. We become indebted to other living entities like cow, ox, because they also contribute in our survival in different ways. So the moment one gets this material body, he is indebted to these 5 people. And to get rid of this, debt, he's supposed to perform panch yagya every day. 5 तरह की यज्ञ हर रोज करने पड़ते हैं. Who is doing? Anyone doing? Who is doing? Anyone aware? But one who is sincerely performing devotional activity, he is not obligated to perform these activities. His debt is over. Krishna will take care of the debt. Okay. So, why we don't know? We have not been taught. No one taught us. Like, debt towards other human beings is taken care of by Atiti Seva. Means you have a guest who has not informed you and you do a wonderful Seva. That's how your debt towards other living entities is taken care of. By reading Shastras, you take care of the debt towards sages. By performing Shraddha, you take care of debt against forefathers. Like this. By feeding other animals, you take care of debt, or helping them in different ways, you take care of debt against different other living entities. Like this. The only safe person in this material world is a devotee. Everybody else is in dangerous situation, under too much of debt. So much of debt that he will never be able to come out. He has to come back again and again and suffer. Janam, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukha, Dosha. Again and again, birth, death, old age, disease. See, this is getting revealed in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You can imagine what is going to come in the next 18 chapters. We don't know what is there in the first chapter. Most of the things. How much of ignorance is prevailing in the society today? And everybody claims to be highly civilized, highly educated, and opulent, wealthy, knowledgeable. They have no idea of basics, how to live in the material world. Yes or no? So it's a privilege to read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, I'll stop here. So this was fourth reason. Destruction of dynasty, degradation of women, production of unwanted children, and stopping of all such activities like Shraddha and all, causing forefathers to fall into hellish conditions. So I will not fight that. It's too much of a risk. I don't want to be responsible for this kind of situation, society in future. Okay, we have 10 minutes for questions now. You can comment if no question. Yes, Hanuman.
हरे कृष्णा। पहले आपने बताया था बीच में एक नाम आया था माधव, अभी यहाँ पे नया नाम आया है मुकुंदा। कुछ इनके ये नाम के लिए भी अलग कोई रेलेवेंस है?
Mukunda means who gives liberation. Mukunda.
थैंक यू।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। भुवनश्री।
Yes, ma'am.
अच्छा प्रभु जी, यहाँ पे देख रहे हैं जो भी कंसर्न्स अर्जुन के हैं इज वेरी वैलिड. ही हैज वेरी वैलिड जेन्युइन कंसर्न्स अबाउट नॉट फाइटिंग द बैटल, विच इज, ये दुविधाएं हमारे भी डेली बेसिस पे आते ही रहते हैं कि यू नो व्हाट इज राइट, व्हाट इज रॉन्ग, एंड हाउ डू यू रियली गो ऑन द राइट ट्रैक देन, यू नो.
This is how Krishna will answer all these one by one. Don't worry. Krishna will explain. He will even make fun of Arjuna. He will say, Ashochayan anvashochastam pragyavadam. He says, you are behaving like a pandita, like a very learned person, but you are a fool number one. This will be the first verse of Krishna when he's actually starting Bhagavad Gita. You're a fool. You think you're very learned? I will not fight the battle because of this. Pandita, a learned person, doesn't talk like this. He'll not say directly. He'll say, you're not learned. He'll say like this. Learned, जैसे बच्चे को डांटना होता है ना, तो ये नहीं बोलते, ये मत करो. अच्छे बच्चे ऐसा नहीं करते हैं, ऐसे बोलता है. अच्छे बच्चे ऐसा नहीं करते हैं. तो अर्जुन को बोलते हैं भगवान.
But the segregation of dharma and adharma जानना पड़ेगा.
Yes, Krishna will explain. So he'll say, you know, learned people will not act like this. They like it talking. Like, it means you're not learned. You're talking like you know, somebody who has no idea about. So there are different level of shastras, Arth Shastra, Dharma Shastra, and then Gyan Shastra, which is beyond, you know, this kind of material dharma. So have patience. Krishna will answer each one of them one by one and satisfy Arjuna. Yes, you're right. Anybody will think about this, they look genuine reasons. Like I tell you one hint. Arjuna is saying, if I fight this battle, I'll incur sin. So let me run away. Let me go away, not fight. Krishna will say, no, Baba. If you fight, you will not incur sin. If you don't fight, you will incur sin. Why? You're not performing your Kshatriya duty. Arjuna is thinking, if I kill them, fight, I'll incur sin. Krishna will say, no. If you don't fight, you will incur sin. This is a Kshatriya Dharma in the battlefield.
But then how do you balance out कि पुत्र धर्म ज्यादा बड़ा है कि क्षत्रिय धर्म ज्यादा बड़ा है?
तो बताएंगे भगवान.
हाँ जी जी.
अभी तो पहले अध्याय में शुरुआत है. Just start.
Yes.
This chapter is to generate a lot of curiosity in our mind, which is what is happening. I can see. Because we all think like Arjuna only. In our own standards, what is right, what is wrong. Like somebody say, eating animal, what is wrong? What is the problem? They justify that also. Yes or no? So somebody who is a terrorist, he is killing thousands of people, he can also justify why he is killing in the name of religion. They feel proud. I have killed thousands of people today. Wow. How religious I am. This is what they taught, they're being taught. So right and wrong, discrimination only has to be seen through the eyes of scriptures, not our understanding. Okay, any other question? Any other? Any comment? Nobody asked me this question. Why Prabhupada is saying women are not intelligent or not trustworthy? I'm wondering. So many females sitting here, they're sitting quiet. Yeah? You're convinced? That's why no question. You know why Krishna made women softer and male harder in very crude terms? Because they have to bear a child. The body has to be like this, that they can grow a child inside their home. Very soft. They're very emotional compared to male counterpart. They have to be. They're not very strong like male members. They have to be under the protection of. You can send your son, maybe 15-year-old son, to roam around alone, but you will not send your 15-year-old daughter, right? Yes or no? Why? She requires protection. She might get exploited. Yes or no? Currently, especially in the current situation. So these are obvious, no? They are not different. They are different functionally. Both have different functions. You can't force fit them to be equal. They're not. Functionally, they're different. They have different functions to perform. You can't equate car and tractor. Why? Functionally, they are different. So women and men, they have different functions to perform. And hence they're different. Their bodily structure is different. Their brain is different. Brain size is different. In the name of equality, they don't surrender. And surrender is important for women. Why? To be under protection. But पढ़ लिखने के बाद फिर वो it becomes difficult to surrender. Yeah? I'm also MBA and he's BA. I'm better than him. Yes? Why should I surrender? He should surrender to me. That's why in the earlier times, like 4 varnas we have, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. A man is not allowed to marry women of higher varna. Really a problem. Same or maybe one level lower, not higher varna. Problem. Always. Why in terms of age also, लड़की की उम्र कम होती है लड़के से, है ना? In general, this is a norm we follow. We avoid, लड़की 25 साल की और लड़का 20 साल का. There are reasons behind all of this. कुंडली मैच करते हैं. क्यों you match nature of both of them? Match, will they be able to adjust each other or not? That's why कुंडली मैच किया जाता है. But अभी today तो just because of external beauty, yes or no हो जाता है. Only सब, there are old traditions, orthodox, and we are modern people. We don't require kundi match. And then within a month you realize, oh, I'm stuck. So we should follow these traditions. They're all types of safeguards for life. Protect us in different ways. Okay. Meenal Mataji, any question? Unmute yourself.
Sorry, Professor. Hare Krishna.
Right.
Question to nahi hai koi, but it was very nice listening to this. मतलब I learned certain things. चीजें पता थी बस फिर से पता चली. चीजें नहीं पता थी वो भी नई चीजें पता चली. It's like questions.
So if no question, then we can wind up. So आज रामनवमी है. In your respective cities, you can go to visit ISKCON temple and participate in the function. Get a lot of blessings, mercy, Lord Ram. Okay. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. See you next Sunday.